Yeah, I allowed myself the first couple of days to sort of think, he's a film director now. But then, of course, it just became natural then. Don't really allow myself too much objective thinking like that, but it was nice.
The Invisible Man, Ray Stalker. How long was it, brother? When you went limping off into the woods? What, 20 years?
So welcome Daniel and Ronan Day-Lewis to the
Thank you so much.
Picture House podcast. Are you Picture House fans? Do you know
Yes,
Picture House?
yeah,
Great.
Yeah. I love Picture House. Yeah, when we were shooting the film, actually, I went to see a lot of films at the local Picture House.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good to
hear.
Yeah. Right answer. We haven't got to Ireland yet. We must open one over there. Congratulations on the really wonderful Anemone. I loved every frame.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it is quite unusual for a child to direct a parent, and it's more common the other way around.
Yeah.
But I imagine with your shared passion, it must have been really exciting. Daniel, how was it, both observing your son as a director and taking direction from him?
Well, to answer the second part first, it was just felt very natural. Ronan's work as the director just created a wonderful working atmosphere for everyone. That always comes from the top. He had very strong ideas about the way in which he wanted to make the film, and his notes were always just, he, like all good directors, he just knew when to leave people alone to do. You can sense when people are searching for something, and they may need time to find it. We don't have that much time, but if you're actually looking for something, you're better off left to look for it rather than interfering with that process. And Ronan just sort of instinctively knew that. But yeah, watching him, I allowed myself the first couple of days to sort of think, he's a film director now. But then, of course, it just became natural then. Don't really allow myself too much objective thinking like that, but it was nice.
And Ronan, for you, I mean, it's quite a sort of transactional boundary to cross in a way.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
It was strange and amazing to have just been watching his work, both the product of his work over the years and being in awe of that, and then also just seeing him work from kind of just a distance and just being so interested in the mystery of that, and then just to be seeing it happen, but from that kind of intimate vantage point, and actually participating in that was really such a special experience. It was just unlike anything else I'd ever experienced, and I think it was great that we had such a long time to prepare together. Having written the script, it was so nice to get to set and feel that we had this shorthand that you can't really get for free any other way than just putting in that time and that slow kind of patient exploration. So.
And take me back to the beginning where you were starting to write the script. Can you tell me the kind of conversations that just started the kernel that became Anemone?
Yeah, it was very kind of, just when we were just driving around, kind of just what if, very playful kind of low stakes conversations and just, I think being able to really encourage each other's ideas and just someone mentions something and then that sparks an idea in the other person, and it's kind of just slowly but surely this world just starts to kind of suggest itself, and at first it's just the kind of individual marks of it, and then gradually the islands start to kind of connect, and that was a really cool process. I loved the beginning stages of working on the script where so much was unknown, but gradually this mystery starts to kind of come together in front of your eyes. Yeah.
And it was very much led by, initially we conceived it, we were trying to keep everything really simple.
Yeah.
We conceived it as, as a story really just that involved the two brothers, and the idea of the long estrangement that was there, the reunion was there, But then there were just these two fellas in a shed, and so we thought, well, this is going to be it. And we lived with that for quite a long time until we just couldn't breathe anymore. But it was, we just seemed to find a harmony in the way in which we allowed the characters to reveal themselves over the process of time. And, and we followed them as much as anything. I felt we were following them.
Yeah, and also I think there's like a certain feeling in like the first 10 pages that we wrote, just in terms of also the role of the weather and the environment and just the sense of isolation and just what that felt like to just have these two people in this kind of stark environment that I think was exciting to both of us, and
yes,
I think that's also what kept us like clinging on to these characters as because we didn't know where they were really taking us. Yeah.
The army teaches you to grin and bear it. The war with crime, and we were the phantom soldiers.
Ray never spoke to me about what happened over there.
I can't help you. Till he's told me what happened.
Daniel, for you sort of exploring this visceral world, could you feel yourself becoming Ray almost in spite of yourself, or were you quite clear that you just wanted to write a script, or was there any clarity at that point?
No, I was always going to, because that was really part of the initial impulse for me, was I knew Ronan would go on to make films. Ronan was working as a full-time painter, but I realized that if I didn't go back to this work, we'd never have a chance to work together. So it was really for me, it began with the wish to just work with Ronan on something, no matter what it was. And then figuring out where our common ground was in terms of our interests at that time. But it just seemed to take its course very naturally.
Yeah.
How wonderful. And I really enjoyed the contrast of the two brothers. Sean Bean is this great bear that fills the doorway in comparison to Ray's sort of panther-like presence. And so, Ronan, I wonder if you can tell me about sort of casting such different shapes and psyches.
I love the way you described that contrast between them. I think with Jen, it's like he has this almost like totemic, like statue-like presence that's so kind of unwavering and unmoving. It's like he almost has to weather this like maelstrom of just abuse that Ray throws at him. That's with this stoicism that's kind of that's masking his own deep trauma, but he has such a different kind of carapace and a different kind of bit like skeleton that he's built up to support himself and deal with that trauma. So it was. Yeah, when we started to think about who could play Jem, Sean came up really early on, and I just couldn't imagine anyone else.
It was a shortlist with one person.
It was literally just one.
So we'd still be waiting if he hadn't said yes. We'd still be waiting for him.
Yeah. I had been like a huge fan of his work for so long, like since I was like 13, and was just it was just when I was so relieved that you connected to Jem. Yeah.
When we were writing it, all the dialogue really came about through improvisation, including Ness O'Brien, the two brothers, and for quite a long time I was equally fascinated by Jem. It wasn't clear to me at all. I think Ronan felt that it was just he saw it before I did.
I was surprised to actually learn that recently. Because I always imagined you as Ray, but it's
partly I think because Ray was pure invention. I don't know where the hell he came from, but whereas Jem was inspired by a very dear friend of mine who had a whole career of soldiering and had a foundation of very deep Christian faith, and so it was inspired by that. And in a way, I knew before we developed it further, I knew Jem better than I did Ray, just from time spent with that person.
And I think it was the mystery of Ray that made me so like compelled by him from the beginning.
And so were you sort of more insistent to Daniel that he play Ray? That is your character.
It's funny because I don't remember us ever actually having a conversation about it. By the time,
just settled.
By the time we talked explicitly about it, he was going to be Ray. So it was an interesting.
I couldn't help myself.
Yeah. So I guess that was all the internal thought processes.
And I was so entranced by the opening part of the film, the largely silent piece that's just so filled with dread and expectation. And then Ray's instinctual knowing that his brother had arrived. That was so great. Because that's just so familial, isn't it? You know? And I just wonder if you could talk about your wonderful chemistry with Sean as well around that whole...
Happily, yeah, I mean, Sean and I, you know, we started out as youngsters more or less at the same time. We never worked together. We met at a casting session, I think, when we were still youngsters. But I'd followed all of Sean's work and always admired him. And then in the last few years, I just thought, God, I mean, he was already a wonderful actor. He just seems to get better and better. And I saw Time, an extraordinary piece of work with Stephen Graham, who's another mate. And then I saw Broken, where he played. Did you ever see Broken? He plays a priest in the north of England, and it's just beautiful, the work, but so sensitive, the work he does. Anyway, so he came over, when I put the idea to him, Sean, he came over and spent a few days in Ireland, and we just fell into a sort of rhythm with each other very, very easily, and that's really what it was all about. We didn't talk about the script or the characters. We just spent time together, often in silence, but there was a sort of certain ease in it, and I felt, he definitely could be my brother,
What do you want from me, brother? What do you want?
And Ronan, one of the things that I also really loved about the film, I thought it was really audacious and brave and brilliant, were the moments of phantasmagoria. Yeah, that was great.
Oh, thank you.
just the spectre of Samantha Morton as Nessa over the bed. I wonder if you could tell me about introducing those elements to the film.
It was such a precarious kind of tonal balance because the film obviously has this framework of very real historical history. It has a very real historical armature that had to be honored, and I never wanted. I think that was the fear that those more phantasmagorical elements would interfere with that or would kind of cheapen that. But I think that was why it was so important that the two were just wedded from the beginning in terms of the visual language of the film. And we looked a lot at these two books that ended up becoming the two kind of poles of the film, and the one that was more informative for the fantastical elements was this book, The Book of Miracles, which was this 16th century illuminated manuscript is a mixture of Old Testament images and like folkloric accounts of just these insane events like blood rain and hailstorms with these massive hailstones and like springs of blood springing up in fields and like cosmic occurrences. And so that ended up becoming like and then blending that with this book of photographs of Sheffield from the mid-90s by Nick Waplington, which were very grounded and kind of gave more of a sense of those interiors and the real. But I think trying to kind of inject this sense of the mythic into Ray's world just through the way we photographed it and the design of it just helped make those moments feel less like departures from reality and more like almost like hyper real moments of like the kind of these breaks in the surface of what's going on where you get to see something that would normally be hidden. So I think that's sort of how we were thinking of it, almost like an X-ray.
And it felt kind of quite, again, like it really felt led by Jem's arrival, the first image of Nessa, because it's like he brings that thing that I've kept at bay, for so many years, that love which never went away, that I've kept at bay, and he brings it with him, and there's no escaping from it. In his own presence and with the letter as well. I see that handwriting and it's Nessa right there. And I remember when we first introduced that idea, thought about that idea, and we both, I think we both independently thought, yeah, her feet shouldn't be on the ground.
Yeah. No, and I think that initial decision then just freed us to deal with abstractions at times throughout the film, that without that ever feeling incongruous, and that was definitely a challenge to kind of communicate that to my collaborators, like that tone and that visual language, because on the surface, like, you would look at this story and it could be told in a very kitchen sink kind of realist way, and so it was just always finding that kind of tonal tightrope.
Can I just quickly give you some socks? Picture house socks.
Oh, thank you so much.
You've obviously got such a wonderful understanding of the film. Thank you very much. It means a lot to us.
Thank you. I've been so looking forward to speaking with you both. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You're going to hell, brother. Family reunion.
Thank you for watching Picture House Cinema's unique video content. Hit the subscribe button to be kept up to date with our movie news, cast and crew interviews, highlights, trailers, and lots more.